Hey, it's Luke here from LT Gaming, and today we're diving into something a little different in the sci-fi space scene. Stellar Trader is a new space trading adventure where you start out as a lone pilot in a beat-up freighter and work your way up to be a galactic powerhouse. I mean, the joke about LT Gaming is right there, it's the same for us really. This game is all about buying low and selling high and outsmarting rivals. But it's also about exploring, meeting strange characters and leaving your mark on entire star systems. If you enjoy discovering unique space games like this one, give the video a quick like. It really helps us chart our next course through the galaxy. You only have to take a quick look at our recent videos to see we bring you some great games here at LT Gaming, so jump on board. And I have to say, when I fired this game up, I was truly intrigued by it and I'm very keen to see where they can take it. There's a lot of work ahead of them. It caught my attention because it isn't trying to be another massive space combat sim or procedural universe with a million empty planets. Instead, Stellar Trader wants to tell stories through trade, character interaction, and the way you shape economies. It's also got some pretty strange mini-games in it, but yeah, we'll get to those later. It's ambitious, it's colourful, and there's a live playtest running on Steam right now, so it's a great time to jump in and see what it's all about. I certainly think you're going to find a lot to like here. At its core, Stellar Trader is a spacefaring economy simulator mixed with a narrative adventure. You start small, just you, your ship, and a galaxy full of opportunities. You'll buy and sell goods between planets, manage your cargo, and learn how to turn slim margins into real profit. But this isn't just about spreadsheets and prices. Every system you visit has personality, with markets that change, factions that compete, and events that ripple through the wider economy. There's a nice amount of depth behind the trading system. You can play it straight, focusing on legitimate trade routes and corporate contracts, or dip into the shadier side of business, with black market deals and contraband cargo. The risk versus reward balance is where the game really shines. You can take big gambles on volatile goods or play it safe and steady as a respected merchant. And I will say, when I started this, I actually made a few mistakes and ended up almost completely bankrupt, so you do have to be careful about how you trade and what you trade, and managing a lot of different things going on at the same time. So there's definitely a challenge element that they're building on. Beyond the markets, you'll encounter characters with their own motives, humour, and sometimes romance. I really think these type of storylines help bring the galaxy to life, turning what could have been a pure systems-driven sim into something more grounded and human. Even the character creation screen is kind of unique. There's definitely some Far East influences going on here, but I do enjoy that it's quirky. I mean, games have to do things differently sometimes. If every game was the same, where would be the fun in that? I know there's a whole bunch of space simmers in our Discord who are big fans of Japanese RPGs, for instance, so I know they're going to like some of these influences, and I do think that as space simmers were open to new ideas, and this game is certainly pushing some interesting angles. So it looks like you're not just going to be building an empire with this one, you're getting caught up in mysteries, rivalries, and maybe even a few questionable relationships along the way. And as your profits grow, Stellar Trader lets you expand your reach, building stations, shaping supply chains, and quite literally steering the fate of star systems. It's not just about your ship anymore, it's about empire building on a galactic scale. I think I've already hinted at this, but what I found refreshing about Stellar Trader is how it dares to stand apart in a crowded genre. So many space games right now chase the same formula. Procedural exploration, survival mechanics, or dogfighting, but Stellar Trader keeps its focus tight. It's about the thrill of trade, the satisfaction of profit, and the immersion of living in a universe that actually reacts to your decisions. For me, the environments you visit are a real highlight. Planets feel alive with detail, bustling ports, shimmering skylines, and trading hubs that each have their own identity. I really liked that the first time I docked to any of these amazing stations, I was given a little history lesson on their background. It's little touches like this which can really make a game. There's a sense of scale here that really sells the fantasy of being part of a living galaxy, and the presentation backs it up with strong lighting, atmospheric effects, and a cinematic sense of motion when travelling between systems. That attention to world building gives the game a ton of character. There are definitely a couple of times I just stopped and went, wow, that looked really impressive. It's just one of those games that invites you to slow down, take in the view, and imagine the stories happening just beyond your cockpit window. The music and sound design deserve a special mention too. Sweeping space tracks blend with the roar of storms and the hum of your engines to create an atmosphere that's both moody and immersive. Just a quick interlude to say most of you who watch the channel are not subscribed, so make sure to go down below and hit that subscribe button because it helps smaller channels like us grow really quickly, and both me and Tom really appreciate it. And more than anything, Stellar Trader has a vibe. There's this combination of calm exploration and tense market decisions that make it feel unique. Whether you're docked at a neon-lit bazaar bartering over goods or threading a dangerous route with your last tank of fuel, it has that perfect blend of strategy, immersion, and style that space sim fans crave. Right now, Stellar Trader is in active development with a live playtest running through to the end of November. The devs have been releasing updates on performance improvements, trading balance, and story pacing, all with the goal of tightening up the gameplay loop before release. The playtest gives players a genuine slice of the experience, trading routes, station construction, and a few glimpses of those story interactions that set it apart. And it's something you can try for yourself. Just jump on Steam, go to the Stellar Trader page, which is linked in the description below, and click to join the playtest. It's really a no-brainer if you want to try out this sort of game. I think it's pretty cool that the developers are looking for this type of constructive feedback. I mean, even if you think it's negative or the positives that you find, you can share that with them and they'll take it on board. It's a good way to develop a game so that when they do release it, people's expectations are met. So if you're curious, this is a perfect time to check it out. It's one of those cases where early community involvement can make a big difference in refining the systems before release. Of course, it is still early and there are some areas that require polish. Travel planning can feel a bit cumbersome. Having to constantly stop and decompress in transit slows down the pacing more than it should. Streamlining that system could help the flow enormously. Combat 2 is still fairly basic and feels more like a placeholder than a core mechanic right now. I mean, I can definitely see what they're going for, but it requires a bit more depth and a little improvement. Now, I said I'd get to the mini-games, and here we are. They're scattered throughout in different ways. And let's say they just kind of caught me by surprise. They're a little abstract, but they are interesting, I would say. There's whack-a-mole and then massages and putting cups on people's back and removing them at the right time. It's all kind of interesting, if a little quirky. They are sometimes fun, but they do feel a little out of place in a space trading adventure. Almost like they belong in another game entirely. With some refinement or better integration into the core loop, they could add more personality rather than just be a distraction. I think once you've played whack-a-mole maybe 20 times, you're going to be a bit like, I think I don't need to do this anymore. I know I've been a little bit harsh on the mini games, but there was a station I arrived at which had a casino where I could play blackjack, and that was greatly appreciated. So a solid shout out for including these types of games also. But the good news is these are exactly the kind of issues that playtests exist to fix. The foundations are strong, the economy, the atmosphere, and the storytelling, so if the devs can layer in smoother travel, deeper combat, and a tighter focus on the main gameplay experience, Stellar Trader could easily become one of the standout trading sims of the next year. So who is this going to be for? Well, if you're into games like X4 Foundations, Elite Dangerous, or the Freelancer Classics, you'll immediately understand the appeal here. But Stellar Trader is less about full sim management and more about narrative and trade strategy. It feels like a halfway point between Starfield's immersive world building and Rebel Galaxy Outlaws' character-driven tone, with just enough of that indie charm to make it feel personal, maybe a little too personal if you're in the massage parlor every 2 minutes. This is a very strong sector. There aren't that many games that are real standouts, and this game has a challenge to get there, but I do think it's trying to do things differently. It looks great, and the world building and atmosphere really add up to a game that could challenge some of the stronger contenders in this genre. But there is a long way to go, a lot of feedback for the devs to trawl through, and some changes to make. The idea of owning your own trading empire and influencing the rise and fall of planets is just inherently fun, and Stellar Trader captures that potential beautifully. Building stations, managing your supply chains, and seeing systems evolve as a result of your actions will be deeply satisfying. In the future, I'd love to see more dynamic competitors, rival traders, or factions that make the economy feel even more alive. This is definitely hinted at in the playtest, but not fully realised. That's where this concept could really flourish. If the devs can nail that sense of living competition, this could easily become one of the most replayable trading space sims on PC. So that's Stellar Trader, a strikingly different take on the space trading genre with a ton of promise already on display. The playtest is live till the end of November, so if you're curious to see how it plays, head over to the Steam page linked below and give it a try. It's a big concept game and I can't get enough of these, and I'm genuinely excited to see how it evolves. You know, it's a sort of space game that only LT Gaming brings to you, really, with a proper look. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Until then, fly safe and keep your cargo secure out there.